Welcome back. Now our next part in this development of this game is whenever you hit the target, we need a score to be added and the score has to be calculated. So let us start with this. Now coming back to Unity, and here to do this in this Unity, let us select this game manager script. Double click to open it in Visual Studio, and here actually we want to first create a that is a function which is going to recognize whether we have hit the target or not, and if we had hit it, then it has to add score. So for every hit it had to add one score. How to do that? For that, what we are going to do is, first of all, to store the score we need a variable. So we have to first declare a variable, the variable which is going to score our that is store our score. So for this, in the top line, public game object target, we have already declared one game object here. Now go to next line and type int. Int means this is a number, because score is a whole number. We are going to select the int type of variable and give it the name. We will give it the name as SCORE, score, and the score initial value we are going to set it equal to 0. So one second. So we are going to set the initial score to 0, okay, and end it with colon. So we have declared a variable to store score. So int score equals 0. So then what we are now going to do is, we are going to create a new function which is going to calculate the score. So to calculate the score, let us come down here after this void span. We had created void span, one function in the previous, or one method in the previous class. Now press after two lines here, we are going to create a new method. Now we are going to call it void. Void means it is not going to return anything, and then press space, and we are going to name this as C capital calculate, okay, score. So we are going to give it the name as calculate score, and after this we are going to add open and close bracket, then add one flower bracket. And as soon as you should always remember this, when you add a open bracket, immediately add a close bracket. When I add a open flower bracket, immediately add a closed flower bracket. So in between these two flower brackets, we are going to declare our method. So here we are going to type and declare what function this calculate score method is going to do. Now here, what this calculate score is going to do is, here whenever we hit the target, the score has to increase by 1. So to increment the score, the best command that we use here is, so I will just press the tab, maintain this tabbed structure, okay. It will automatically fit into this tab structure, and if it is not doing so, you manually do it. So here I press a tab here, and then I am going to type my variable. The variable that I have declared is score, okay, and I will add plus plus and end it with a colon. So this command score plus plus will increment my score by one number, okay. And the next command I will add here is, I need this score to get printed. I will add print and then open close bracket, and inside the bracket I am going to mention the variable score, okay, and end it with code. So these two lines we have added in a method called calculate score. So we have created calculate score, and we have added score plus plus and print score, and this score is first in the procedure is we have first created a variable score, then we have created a method calculate score in which we increment score by 1 and then print it. So when we print it, this will appear in your console. Later on we shall see how we can show it in the display as a text. That we will do it later. Right now, to debug it, to see whether it is working correct or not, we are just going to use the print score command. So after this, the next thing is we have to now identify whether the user has clicked the target or not. If you come back to the game, so whenever the user clicks on the target, it should recognize whether it has been clicked or not. For this, if we come to the other script, that is the target script, if I double click it, here we already on mouse down, we have added destroy game object. We have added one command already over here. Now what we want to do is, here at this point, we want to increment the score by 1 point. But here we are going to learn a new method where we have two scripts. Okay, one is the game manager.cs script. Click save all to save it. So we have game manager.cs script, and in this script we are using calculate score method and score variable, but we want this method to be called inside another script called target. How do we take or assess the method in a second script or a different script in another script? How we are going to do it? This is a little complicated process, so we will discuss it and carefully follow this, and we are going to now assess game manager.cs method in target.cs. So let's see how we can do this. So now let us start with the target function here. So in the target function, if you can see it, now we want to assess game manager script in target. How we are going to do this? So if you come over here, initially in this starting section, that is after this mono behavior, after this we are now going to here declare a variable. So the variable that we are going to declare here is a game object. Okay, so I will put public, and then we are going to use game object. So when we are declaring it, we remember we have to use G and O capital, because this is a game object that we are declaring it here, and select this. Okay, so game object, and the type of variable that we are declaring public is game object. It's a game object, and give it a name. So press space and let us give it a name. I am going to name it as with the same name, game manager. Okay, and end it with colon. So we end it with colon. So after this, what we are now going to do is, we have declared a game that is game object called game manager here. The next thing is coming into this start, void start. So before destroy game object, before this, you just press enter and come to the previous line. Do not type after destroy game object. Okay, before destroy game object. Now you call this variable game manager. So we will call this variable game manager, and this variable game manager will be equal to, so this will be now equal to a game object. That is, we have this game object here, it will be equal to game object, and in game object it is going to dot. Okay, and we are going to use the command find. See, the logic we are using here is, you have game manager, game object, find. So what it is going to do is, this script, if you come back to your Unity, here you see the actual script here, and in this, you in the 2D shooter game, you have a game manager function here. So what it is now going to do is, it will come in this hierarchy and it is going to select this game manager. This is the path to find a particular object in your game. So in this, to find this game manager, I will come back to script here, and in find we are going to open and close bracket, and inside open and close bracket, this is a string. So in two inverted commas, we are going to type inside the inverted comma exactly the name here. So if you come here, the name of this object, you have this here, game manager. So select this, copy this, now come back to the script here, and in between the two inverted comma, paste it. So game manager is the script that it is going to find, and inside the game manager, now if you come to the hierarchy here, inside this game manager, we need this script. So in any game object, this transform is one component, this game object is another component. These are called as components. Okay, so for this we will come back to the script, and here we are going to add a period, and adding the period, we are going to use this command get component, and after get component, we are going to add the two brackets, that is the arrow brackets here. So we are going to add two arrow brackets like this, and inside this we have to give the name of the component that we are going to call. So if you come back to the script here, the name that we are calling here is game manager. This is the name of the component. Okay, so that's why I have to again come here, type here, okay, G capital game manager. You can see here, I am going to call this, and after I call it, add an open and close bracket, okay, and then end it with a colon. So now here what we are doing is, we have declared a game object, and inside the game object we have declared game object game manager, and inside this we are calling a game object, and that game object get component, and we are getting this script. So you just type as it is here, and as you work you are going to understand it better. But right now you are seeing an error here. The reason why we are getting the error here is, we have declared this as a game object. So we should not declare this as a game object. So we have to make one modification here. Here instead of public game object, we are going to give the name of this object itself, that is game manager. We are going to name it as game manager, public game manager, and then in the second game manager it is the same. So what we have to do is, you make this G small. So in the second game manager, this is a variable. Remember, always variable name should start with small letter, and method name should start with capital letter. You follow this rule. Okay, come back here, and even here we are going to change G to small. Okay, so now what we are doing is, we have declared public game manager, and we have declared it as a variable game manager, and in this game manager we are finding the game manager object, and in this we are finding the component game manager. In this way we are able to access game manager script in target script. So now we can access all the variables and methods declared in game manager in target.cs. So here you just type it exactly what has been typed over here, and as we learn developing more and more games, this linking of one script to another script, you will become more familiar. Okay, you have to just understand the logic. Understand the logic here. In target CS, to access game manager CS, we are creating a variable called game manager, and this game manager G is small. This is a variable, and we are declaring this variable to be equal to the game object game manager, and in this we are getting the component game manager script. Okay, so this is the logic behind it. So we have now got access to game manager script inside the target.cs script. And now one more thing here is, whenever you are calling any component from a different script, if you come back to game manager.cs, here we had declared calculate score as a private void. If you just write void, this means that this is a private method which can be accessed only in this script. If you want to access it outside this script, I have to add here the line before void public space. So when I add public space, now this can be referenced by an external script. Then come back to target.cs here, and now in target.cs, if you come to this on mouse down, and in mouse down, now what we are going to do is destroy game object. We have destroy game object, and below that we are going to enter, what we are going to enter now is, here we will call this variable game manager. Okay, so I will type this variable g small. Okay, game manager, we will call this variable period. In this, what we are going to get, we are going to get calculate score, which we have already done it. See, if it has been linked correctly, then you will see the method actually available here. Okay, you see the method what you declared in game manager CS is available here. So select this, you have game manager dot calculate score. So this open close brackets colon ending. So now we have added this line. What we are now doing is, as soon as you click the mouse, the function or the method we have written in game manager calculate score will be executed. So when it executes, you are going to add score and you are going to print score. Okay. Now let us test this. Now go to file and choose save all to save everything. And now come back to the script here. And in the script, go to Windows General and open this console window. Okay, you keep this console window ready. And then click the play button here. And after you play the game, and as it is appearing, when I click on this, see, when I click on the object, okay, we are, see, you can see here, you can see the score increasing. See, as soon as I click it, you are seeing here. Okay, no, it is working. Okay, it is showing. So as soon as I click on it, it is going to show. See, every click, the score is increasing. You can see that. So once you test this, you are now thorough that this script is working. So right now, stop the game. So if this is working, so we have established the logic, and now our next aim is to print this score on the screen instead of on the console. So in this session, understand, coming back to script, we have assessed a method in game script, the game manager.cs in target.cs. So this is a way we use to assess components from one script in another script. So with this, we shall end this session, and in the next session, we are going to make this score appear on the screen.